So we got our first brake chamber mounted up here. Just getting it adjusted up. Initial adjustment, measured it out. It's a little bit off, so I'm going to adjust it again here. And it should be good. We'll remeasure after we adjust it. So after we get this side done, we need to go to the other side, get it mounted up in the bus, cut the rod down, get it all adjusted. Then I think that should be it for the rear brakes. Lance is out picking up transmission fluid for it right now, so when he gets back, probably hop on the transmission and get more of that stuff going. So next up, we started moving to getting all these hydraulic lines put on. It's about lunchtime. We've got these two, and then the one that goes right down there. So those three are on. After lunch, we're going to start hopping on the ones that go to the trans cooler and that stuff. So we've got a fitting there, one there. We got a. Are we putting a plate for this, Dad? On the side here?
Yeah, it's already made.
Got a plate that's going to go on there. I know we're going to have to make a plate for the pump for the transmission here. We're going to pull that off and plate it. We're just starting to make some progress on some more of the trans stuff. Hopefully, our goal today is to try to get this thing on the road and test drive it. So just had to open up the holes a little bit more here. This is the block-off plate Dad was making to go over the oil pump for the transmission. So I'm going to clean up the backside a little bit. It left a little bit of a rough edge. We'll get that hit with the file real quick. And this thing's ready to bolt on the engine after we get it cleaned up.
I think we're good. It's getting close to the end of the day anyways. I don't know what the time is. It's about 5. It's 4:33.
So we made a lot of progress today. All of the transmission lines are in. All of the coolant lines are in. We've got like 6 gallons of trans fluid in there. Cross member is bolted up. All of the air lines are ran. All of the wires are ran to the back. It's almost ready to go. The brakes are finished. Tomorrow we need to do the air manifold up front. We need to get the shift lights put in it. What else do we have on the list tomorrow? Fill it with coolant.
We've got to build an air manifold for the horn and the shifter. We've got to terminate these wires right here that go to the electro air shifter, the Stone Bennett.
We need to plug the old tack drive that we removed right there.
These will be replaced before you leave. I have all the new setup for that, but we don't want to do that until we know it's running.
Yeah. It's close, though. It's really close. We're hoping by noon tomorrow-ish to try to get the wheels on and back it out of here. We got a lot done today. Just a ton of little stuff, but the entire time we've been gone, Lance has been stocking up on all the parts and fittings and getting hoses made and having it ready so that when we got here today, we could just start going on it. I'm excited, though. I want to see this thing out of here. I want to see it run.
Plates are on.
Yeah, we made block-off plate today.
Took off the pump here, and this blocks off the spacer plate.
Yep. It's been a long day, but we got quite a bit done. You got
the Stone Bennett shifter, how it works.
Yeah, so Stone Bennett's down here. It's hooked up. We need to do the 2 air relays still. Those need to go into this compartment. They're going to mount in here. So we have the 2 wires here for the powers on them. They'll be grounded inside of the compartment there. The trans cooler is back in there. That is all plumbed in. Oh, we do need to remember tomorrow to hook this coolant line up out of the way so it's not on the exhaust.
Yep.
That'd be important. But it's getting there. It's really close. The Detroit's happy to see me. Narrowed up this bracket so it'll fit inside the transmission pan. That is the spacer for the Stone Bennett. And it's not the straightest line, but it fits now. But it's really hot because I just cut it and hit it with the grinder. So we're going to use our nice outdoor cooling tank here. Okay, so we can touch that. So yesterday we had to put a plug in the bottom of the bell housing. And it needed a 9/16 Allen socket. And we did not have that big of one on the bus. So I took a 9/16 bolt and I welded a nut to the bottom of it. But as you can see, I kind of bent the shit out of it trying to get it in there. It's tight, but I almost broke this off. So if it wasn't for the fact that it's right before Thanksgiving and people are swarming every store out here right now, just go to Harbor Freight and get one, but it's going to go on the list for next time we're out there to get some bigger Allen sockets. So it's like a cartoon down here. Dad's hooking the stone bennett up, and every second there's a nut, a bolt, a washer, just more and more hardware falling out of it as he's dropping it. And he's like, "You gonna help?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna record this." It's pretty funny.
It's not funny.
It's really funny.
You're getting what's called the money shot.
So does that spacer work? Does it fit?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had to fix that this morning. There was a bit of a leak from the transmission pan there because the stone bennett spacer was pushing against the lip up at an angle. It didn't fit up in there. See, I told you that is the easiest way to start overhead bolts.
It's also the easiest way to cross thread them.
That's why you do it at a low power setting and a low speed. You're not trying to cross thread it, you're just trying to get it started.
Did we put that airline on yet? No. I was going to bring me a bonnet.
I walked into Dad just laughing hysterically. You want to tell him what you did?
Well, I was working with 2 wrenches over my head, and one of the wrenches slipped, so I knew it was coming down on my face. So I tried to cover my face with my arm, except the hand that I tried to cover it with was the hand that was holding the other wrench. So then I had 2 wrenches falling towards my face. It was a miracle. I didn't get hit.
With any of them?
No, they made a lot of noise, bounced off about 4 things, but didn't hit me.
That's awesome.
You want me to start it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. Oh, you got the video running?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Your batteries are really low, dude. Should have fired by now. Your batteries are really low. It's barely turning over.
Smells good though.
She was turning over. She usually starts.
Working on getting these air solenoids set up now. So the top one's going to go right about here. The bottom one's going to sit down here. It's just enough length of this hose. It's going to keep the air feed off the wall. And then we're trying to use existing holes. So we got the first one coming through here. There's another one down here. Right there. We're going to grab. We might have to open that up a little bit though. We're going to put 2 lines out, and then we will put like silicone around it to make our own grommet for it so it'll seal up. So we've got them mounted up to the board here. I've taken 2 wires off to the side. These are going to be the grounds for it. So I'm going to hook these together and then put them on an eyelet underneath one of the mounting screws. I've got the first air line going back through the bulkhead. So get it terminated to where it needs to go on the stone bennett. Like I said, feed lines in. We've teed them together so that it'll feed both of them. Once this one is in and cut here, I'll run this one back out. And that should finish up the air system for the shifter once we run the 2 power wires, which they are terminating right out here just outside here, so I'll have to run those in too.
We're on it. Tyler, be ready to shut it down if you need to.
Yeah, I'm ready. Tell them to stop. So as we were cranking there, I just saw that this tack drive wasn't hooked up. The collar was off and it was spinning freely, so if we didn't get that fixed before this thing fires, we have a pretty good oil leak coming out of there, so I got that thrown back on real quick. Still turning it over slow, so I got the battery charger on it. The battery's been disconnected for what, 2 months or so, Dad?
Not quite.
Almost 2 months they've been sitting?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no charger on them or anything, so we're going to give some power to them and then it should start up.
Manually shut it down back here too. So
How long are we going to let it run for?
30 seconds.
Okay.
Or less. If the fluid's leaking out somewhere, then we're going to shut it off.
Yep.
Yep.
we got a pretty short to-do list. I just went ahead and moved. There was a ground cable up here that went to the transmission. So I've moved it down to the trans mount, and I'm going to the block off plate with it now. We didn't have to make a new cable. We could reuse what we had. I think next up is I need to move this dipstick tube because it is hitting the wiring right here. So this needs to get loosened up so we can twist it a little bit and get it out of the way. But I think, Dad, I think we should wait to move this until we get the trans full. Because if we move this now, it's going to be difficult to fill. What do you think?
We're only moving it a little bit. I think we should just bend it out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the way it's bent right now, it doesn't line up at all with what we're doing with it. But we had to have it sticking out as far this way as we could so we could clear the body to get a funnel in there. But that'll be our next project, just getting that moved. A little bit smoky in here, but we just did the first longer run on it. It has movement in the transmission, at least went forward. We didn't test reverse. We've got the fluid topped up right now, so it's at least between the two marks. We're gonna have to check it later. You need to run it up to 1,000 RPM, hold it there for a minute, and then immediately check after that. But we got to finish up the air throttle adjustments first before we can do that.